Well, hello there folks, how are you? It's lovely to see you again as usual, and I hope that I find you very well indeed, and thanks for coming over just to check out this, oh it's so easy, recipe for butter. Now I've been making this for the last few weeks, and let me tell you, your mind will be blown at how easy this actually is to make, and it spreads so well. It's really creamy, and depending on whether you like salt or not, you can make it salted or unsalted. When you make this, you can use it right away, you know, so there's no waiting around. It's just wonderful. When I discovered this, I said I've got to go on and share it with you, because there's no way I can keep this to myself. All you're going to need is double cream, some salt if you want to make it salted, and then obviously a stand mixer. I have tried doing this with a hand mixer and it just doesn't work out quite the same, but if you don't have a stand mixer, give it a go with a hand mixer and see how you go on. So I'm going to be using double cream. Now in this country, double cream is really easy to get from any supermarket, but if you're in Canada or the US, you can use heavy whipping cream or heavy cream. You might not get quite the same results, but I don't imagine it would be vastly different. So do give it a go anyway and share your results with me over on Instagram. So I'm going to be using double cream, like I said, and my trusty stand mixer. This is just a Kenwood Chef. So pop your cream in. I'm using a large pot, but you can use a smaller pot if you like. You just won't get as much butter at the end. Pop in your salt, 1 to 2 to 3 tablespoons depending on how salty you want it. I added 2 because we like a salty butter. I've tried it with 1, 2 and 3, and 2 is our sweet spot. So just keep mixing those together until it goes lovely and thick till you get to this stage, and just scrape down the sides with your spatula. You might have to do this a couple of times because it has a tendency to fly up the sides of your bowl. So you just want to get it back down into the bottom again and give it another good whisk around. Just keep on mixing and it will go very yellow and crumbly. And once you're at this stage, you know you do not have long to go, but keep it in a fairly high speed until you get to this sort of crumbly stage, and then quite quickly it will start to separate. You will have the buttermilk in the bottom of your bowl and the butter will all clump around your whisk. So at this stage, turn the speed of your mixer down because you don't want your buttermilk flying everywhere, just until all of your butter ends up in that wee cage that is your the balloon whisk in there, and that is you finished. That is your butter done. Now obviously you get quite a lot of buttermilk in the bottom of your bowl. You can use this for something else, you know, if you're a keen baker and you make scones or bread or something like that, you can use the buttermilk in something else. You know, it can be very handy. But whatever you do, you're not going to need it for this recipe. So set that to the side, and you want to make sure you rinse this well under a cold tap to get the residual buttermilk off of your whisk. And then have a bowl of iced water. We're going to just give this a wee wash in the ice cold water just to get off the remaining buttermilk, and the ice in there will stop your butter melting. So just push it all off of your whisk or through the wee holes in your whisk into the water. Just like this, really easy. And just give that a wee slush around, and you can see the water there, it's going quite cloudy. That's just from the excess buttermilk. You do want to get as much buttermilk off as you can, because this is going to save your butter from going off or going rancid. Pick all your wee bits of butter out of the water and squash it all together, and you can shape this into, you know, a log or a brick or whatever shape you like. You can keep it round if you like, but for the purpose of the video, I wanted mine nice and square and looking nice for the pictures. So just flatten it down, squash the edges until you have a nice shape. And I'm actually using a leveler for my cakes. This is good for, you know, smoothing out icing. So I use that. I wouldn't normally use that, but like I said, I did want it looking nice and square for the pictures, obviously for the YouTube video, but I wouldn't normally faff about with it as much as this if it was just for us for toast or whatever. But you can see there how wonderful that looks, and this is ready to use right away. But I'm going to wrap mine in some greaseproof paper and just keep mine in the fridge. Just treat this the way you would any other butter. You know, you don't have to do anything special to it. It is just butter at the end of the day. I checked the side of my usual supermarket butter and the ingredients were cream and salt, so it's exactly the same and you will end up with a much larger block of butter than you will get from the supermarket for the money as well. So I think it's great. You know, it works out cheaper. You know what's in it. You get more butter, and it's really good fun to make as well. And that's just a loaf of bread Mr. What's for Tea made there. And I've just cut a slice from this, and you can, you know, see how easy that is spreading there. And that I popped this into the fridge for an hour, so this is just out of the fridge, you know, and it's just wonderful. You can keep this at room temperature as well. You know, it's not going to melt and collapse into nothing. If you're in Scotland, you know, it's quite chilly here, so we don't tend to refrigerate our butter. But if you're in a warmer climate, obviously, I would recommend keeping it in the fridge. And that was it. So do let me know if you're planning on giving that one a go. And just before I move on, I wanted to say, as usual, a huge thank you to the supporters of the channel over on my Patreon page, and to the channel members here on YouTube, and for you all for watching and leaving your lovely comments. And for those that share the videos, thank you all ever so much. I'm really grateful for the support. And if you're not following me over on Instagram yet, I'm What's for Tea 3 over there, and it would be lovely to see you, because there are more and more of you coming over every week. Yeah, and obviously I share videos, you know, and photos and things that don't appear over here on YouTube. So yeah, it would be lovely to see you. So I will catch up with you next for our wee shopping, unbagging, or even back on Sunday for meals of the week, and next week for another wee recipe. So whenever you choose to join me again, remember to have a wonderful rest of your day. Stay safe, and I will see you off us soon back here on What's for Tea. Bye now.